Hey, what's up, family? It's your boy Marwin, Food Fidelity. Today I'm making another easy recipe, but you know, if you tune into the channel, it's gonna be loads of flavor. I'm gonna change it up a little bit with some of the ingredients, but we're making salmon croquettes or salmon cakes, depending on where you're from. I start mine with fresh salmon. I know most recipes call for that canned pink salmon. That's not me. You know, I'm a flavor guy. I like that fresh fish. So I buy the best, freshest fish that I can afford, and I chop it up like this. You want to chop it up into smaller pieces as you're going to be making patties with this. And so that may be, you know, you slice them first. If you have a meat cleaver, you can chop them up a little bit, but you don't want to chop them so much that they become minced and too small that they're mushy. You still want a little bit of texture. And so if you have to, you can cut these, you know, into little smaller dices after you've, you know, kind of cleaving them up a little bit. But you see, like, the consistency that I'm working with. And I'm gonna put all of these diced salmon cuts in a bowl. Start adding my other ingredients. So I start with onions. I got a mixed group of bell peppers, red, yellow, orange, green. Optional, you can add some green seasoning. And then I'm gonna add some mayo and my special spice mix. You can get these ingredients in the description. A little bit of lemon juice. You want to have a little citrus in there to kind of break up with all the fatty stuff in there, plus some Worcestershire sauce and all-purpose flour. I'm going heavy with the stuff that's going to kind of bind the ingredients together because they're in bigger pieces as opposed to like the smaller, thinner consistency of the canned stuff. And so you want to make sure they're sticking. So I'm also adding eggs. So I got eggs, flour, and a little bit of mayo to kind of bind these all together. I'm gonna season my cornmeal. I got cornmeal because I want the texture and I also want that gritty flavor. So as I get my salmon cakes kind of built together, a bit a little delicate, but you want to bring these together and then coat the outsides with that cornmeal mix. Notice I season the cornmeal. I want flavor on the inside and outside. You know, just really throughout this dish, maximizing flavor every step of the way, right? You don't have to get these too compact. They'll stay together. Just, you know, trust the process. A little hack that I learned is after you've kind of gotten these coated, you can put them in the freezer for about 5 to 6 minutes. That'll also kind of help them firm up and stick together. I'm using peanut oil. You can use vegetable oil to fry these in, but I'm going to fry these in a cast iron skillet versus a deep fryer. That's a whole nother story. So we're going to go with the pan fried version here. About 4 or 5 minutes each side, depending on how thick your salmon patties are, right? But once you've, you know, kind of gotten a nice little crisp on one side, you can flip these over, and you can see how they hold for the most part. They're going to be fun to eat with that texture. I like the crunchiness on the outside thanks to the cornmeal. As well as like the ingredients that I use on the interior. So you can look and see visually that there's a nice firm crust there that's going to sound great, crickety crack, you know, once we bite into it. But that's what we're working with. And then once you're done, you're going to pull these off the grease and just kind of put them on a paper towel lined plate, or if you have a baking sheet, you can line it with a wire rack to make that work, right? And so you see what we're working with. We got some nice, well done salmon patties that we can just kind of bite into, right? I'm showing with the fork test, but hey, I'm picking these up with my hands and going to town on them, right? But look, and you can check out the firmness. You can see the texture with those big chunks of, you know, salmon pieces in there versus like what you would normally look, which would be like kind of almost like ground processed seafood. You know, that's not the vibe I was going for. I want that fresh look. I'm dipping these just in like a mango sauce, but you can dip in whatever, hot sauce, top them with tartar sauce. But that's the dish. You can see it's got texture with the crispiness and also the pieces of salmon that are laced throughout. And it's got the flavor. It's got that fresh flavor as well as all those different ingredients that I have that work together to form a really banging salmon croquettes dish. That's it. If you like the recipe, give me a thumbs up. Most importantly, hit that red subscribe button. And you'll get new recipes when I make updates, which is weekly. right to your inbox. Thanks for vibing with me. Peace out. See you next week.